Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, your host, as always, and today I'm talking about It's an S show, and it's not what you might be thinking. So let's go to the show.
As the founder of the Landscapers Circle and the Limitless Landscapers podcast, I am here to help you get more money, time, and freedom to make your life and business truly limitless. Through my experiences as the owner of a garden design and landscaping business, and through tried and tested methods, if you want help with the marketing, managing, and growing of your business, then you are in the right place. If you are a landscaper, garden designer, horticultural business, or a supplier to the industry, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's podcast episode. How are you guys? I thought, actually, this week I'm going to give you a bit of an update of what's been happening, because then you can put this whole show in context. So this week it's been a very busy week because my dad was taken into hospital. So he lives in Cambridge, which is about 3.5 hours away on a good day. Took 4 hours on Monday, but essentially had to go up there to see how he was, assess the situation, and then I drove back yesterday. But it got me thinking about business, because shit happens in life and we all have to deal with it in our own way. And yes, just so you know, my dad's fine. He's going through, lots of investigations happening, but potential dementia, and at 63 it's quite young, so it's quite a stressful situation, but it's also quite an unusual situation because none of us have dealt with that before, none of my family. So what was good though was being able to spend some time with him. He knows who I am still, which is great, and also being able to spend time with my grandma and my cousin and my brother, who all live up there. So half my family live up towards Cambridge, and so I don't really get to see them that much. So actually going up there for me was a good thing. And I always look on the positive side of things. And at the end of the day, my father's in the best place for him at the moment. And we'll work on a plan as soon as we get some diagnoses of what's going on internally. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because it meant that my week completely went not to plan. And sometimes when that happens, we can get out of our groove. We can make it an excuse not to get anything done. So part of me really wanted to cancel the whole week's worth of meetings. I didn't want to do a podcast. I wasn't going to show up live on Friday. I wasn't even sure whether I was going to come back yesterday or whether I'd come back today, which again would impact not just on work, but on family life. And actually, what it did show me is that there's 3 things we can do to make it easier in business and make your business better, even when you have situations like this happening. So for me, yes, I did cancel all my meetings on Monday because I had to shoot up there quite quickly. I was unaware of the situation. I got told a few different things. So I didn't know if Dad was at his death's door or whether he was absolutely fine. And thankfully, he's absolutely fine. Not going anywhere anytime soon, hopefully. So that was one thing. So essentially, I made not a snap decision, but I made the decision to cancel everything on Monday. Thankfully, my husband Mike was available to have the time off to be able to deal with the children, get them to school, do their after school club, and all of the above. And then it came to Monday evening after I'd spent the evening at the hospital with my dad, and I realised I had quite a lot of stuff booked in for Tuesday. All morning I had stuff booked in to do meetings, one-to-one, stuff like that. And I could have chosen to cancel it all, and it would have been absolutely fine. I could have chosen to beat myself up because I had plans to record the masterclass that I keep promoting to you. By the way, go to TLC website, click on Discover, and get your name down for the free masterclass that is imminently being recorded, but just stuff keeps getting in the way, and this is quite important stuff, so it's gone on. So I could have beaten myself up about that, and I could have just decided not to do anything. Well, I thought, what's the point? I might as well just show up, because when you don't show up, and that's the first thing I want to talk about, when you don't show up for your business, all it does is either make your to-do list longer, which can make it even more overwhelming to deal with. It can push things back, so you just got more shit to deal with later on in the week, and you haven't got any more time effectively. Or you can just show up, get things done, and move forward. So I also had a call with my business mentor yesterday as well, which again, I wasn't sure I was going to show up for, or whether I was going to show up for him as my best self, that I would get the most out of it. And any of my one-to-one clients, maybe you felt like this when you're showing up for a call with me. You might not know whether you're going to be showing up as your best self and whether you're going to show up and get the most out of it. Well, I would urge you just to show up anyway, because I came out of that meeting in particular really excited and focused on some other elements of the business, growing TLC, looking at planning Aura, because lots of stuff's going on there as well. And actually, I did show up and I did get a lot out of it. So I think the number one thing you need to do is keep showing up, even if you have to have, like I did, cancel a whole day of work and stuff like that, just to get your head around it. For me, it was traveling, going 4 hours through London, which wasn't ideal. The sat nav took me the wrong way. But essentially, then on the Tuesday, I decided to show up. And actually, I felt a lot better on Tuesday than I did on the Monday, because I'd actually shown up for work. I'd actually got stuff done. My wonderful VA, Maya, she got the social media stuff done for me, even though I'm a little bit behind on things. But I just chose to show up, and I did feel 100% better than I did on the Monday when I chose not to show up for anything, apart from obviously seeing my dad. And that leads me on to the second thing I wanted to talk about, and that is getting support. So essentially, I'm very lucky that I have a very supportive husband who supported me by taking over the kids. Obviously, he runs Aura Landscapes, so that's taking care of the business. And I've got the support of my VA, who's making sure that we're still showing up for TLC and everything else. So that's really great. I've also got the support of my business coach, who obviously I had a call with yesterday, just very apt timing. And that's what I want to say to you. You need to make sure you've got support in place. Now, whether that be support of friends and family, whether that be a business coach to support you, or a mentor, or whether that be other people in the industry or around you that can help support you in your business, or maybe it's just setting up support systems in your life, such as something that I'm trialing at the moment with one of my amazing TLC members, Sam, is we're doing a journaling challenge. So we're journaling every morning for 14 days, and we're rating how we feel. And then we're going to see if this makes much of an impact on how positive and what results we get at the end of those 14 days in comparison to previously when we're feeling a bit rubbish. So setting up support systems like that. So making sure you're taking time for yourself, making sure you're taking time for your well-being, because obviously that's hugely important, and just setting up really good support systems. I mean, that is what I bring at TLC. I'm there to support my one-to-one clients. I'm there to support my members as a community, as in a whole. I mean, if you're a member and you've been to group coaching, you'll know exactly what kind of support you get. And most people absolutely love that monthly group coaching session for that. And my one-to-one clients get even more because they're a one-to-one with me and we can deep dive into their business. But it's about setting up those support systems and getting it right, because when stuff does hit, when the shit hits the fan, then you need that support in place to enable you to continue to show up for your business and not wallow in we can all sit there, wallow in self-pity. On Monday, I felt like crying because it was just a bit of a shock. It's a lot of stress. And also it's a lot of moving things around, and I don't like letting people down. So if I cancelled your appointment on Monday, I'm really sorry. I don't really like doing that, but I'm fortunate that my headspace at the time was not right. So I had to just make that decision. But having the support then in place, and then being able to see for myself exactly what was happening with my father in hospital, meant that I could then show up really well on Tuesday. I'm showing up today recording this podcast. It's Wednesday morning, just done the school run, glad to be back home with my own family. And essentially it's about continually showing up, but ensuring that you've got that support around you to enable you to do that. Because if you haven't got it, then you're less likely to show up and get the stuff done. And that leads me to my third and final thing for today. And that is getting shit done. So I had a brief text conversation with a member of mine last night, and they asked me how my day was, and I explained what was happening, and they said, it's great, you showed up and then you got shit done. And I thought, actually, you're right, I did. And that's the thing, the benefit of having the support in place to allow you to show up for your business means that you actually get shit done and move the needle forward. So the calls I had yesterday moved the needle forward for me and my business, and for my one-to-one clients and their businesses. And essentially it gave me a lot to think about, other than just what was going on with the family side of things. So it was really good. Then I chose on the way back, it was a lovely 3.5 hour drive on the M25. I chose to listen to motivating podcasts all about how to get to the next level in business. And ultimately, the main element that they shared on the podcast that I would like to share with you today is making the decision to do it. Making the decision that, yes, you are going to do X, Y, and Z, and yes, you are going to make your business a success is fundamental to success. And people might say, oh, it's a bit, no, it all starts with your mind. Your mind has to be in it. Like I say, your mind is the difference between whether you show up or don't. Support is the difference between of whether your mind is elevated or in the gutter. And when you have your mind in the game and when you show up, you tend to get shit done. So you turn up for meetings, you have productive meetings, you decide to get stuff done in work. So yesterday I decided to just get some content created for TLC and Aura. So I just got shit done. Otherwise, because I knew my VA is waiting on that, waiting on me to create that so she can do her job. So I have to show up and do that, which is good because it makes me show up and it makes me get shit done. Had a great meeting about from the ground up. So we're looking at when we're relaunching, and essentially we're looking to do it in the new year, January, February time. Nothing set in stone as yet, but we made a plan and we are starting our, planning out a campaign for people that want to join our From the Ground Up course of starting their landscaping and design business. So that was really good as well. And it was moving the needle forward. It wasn't just what I find you can do as well when you're feeling this kind of lower vibrational mindset is that you'll just do the easy stuff. So you'll just deal with admin, or you'll deal with the emails, or you might even just deal with some firefighting issues in your business. So for us, we're trying to find some staff at the moment, and essentially it's been about, we're now looking at how we can advertise the spaces to generate more interest and hopefully get some staff in place. That's for Aura. But essentially you can deal with those sorts of firefighting tasks where you're just literally trying to stop the fires, trying to put them out all the time in your business, and that can be the easy way to go. So, but I would suggest, if you really want to get shit done, is that you look at tasks that move the needle forward in your business. So content planning, content scheduling. I spoke to an amazing one-to-one client of mine that I absolutely love. He has decided that he's not going to schedule anything on social media for a while. And, we said, we just got to get it done, got to get consistent with it, get it out there and start scheduling, because it'll make his life a hell of a lot easier. That was one of his action points from yesterday. But essentially you have to start doing things that are going to move the needle forward. So if your problem is that you haven't got many leads, then you really have to address your marketing. If your problem is that you're not feeling 100% into your business, maybe you're feeling quite low at the moment, then the main thing you need to address is your mindset and your well-being. So don't worry about the business stuff. Let's focus on you, self-care, well-being, getting your mind back in the game. Maybe your problem is that you can't close sales. Well, then you need to address your sales technique and how you're going back to clients, and what are you doing? What's your sales process? There's many things. There's always solutions, and depending on where you're at will decide on your solution. Another S I find myself talking about today. And I always think to start looking at solutions rather than worrying about the problem. If you worry about the problem all the time, it can be not only exhausting, but you don't get anywhere fast, and it can be really hard to make decisions. If you think about solutions, possible solutions, maybe you just brainstorm some solutions to some problems you have, that could be far more productive, less draining, and actually make you feel more positive even about the problems that you've got to hand. Because let's face it, we've all got problems, whether it's personal or business, that we're navigating. And essentially, you need to continue to show up, you need to get support, and then you need to get shit done. They're my 3 things for you today. And as always, TLC was created to support you guys in the industry. So whether you are a landscaper, garden designer, or horticultural business, please get in touch. If you've got a question that needs answering or a problem that you need some help solving, then do DM me on Instagram at The Landscaper Circle, or drop me an email. And essentially, if you want to find out more about TLC, maybe you're new here to the podcast and TLC as a whole, jump on to the website and click discover and get your name on the free masterclass that will be dropping into your inboxes shortly. As I said, it's in transit, in situ, whatever you want to say. I'm going to be recording it shortly. Or if you know all about us and you just want to get in on the action, then our Learn and Grow memberships are available. Depending on where you're at in business, we'll decide what level of membership you want. So if you want to have a one-to-one call about that, if you've got some questions, do DM me on Instagram, because I'm happy to do a free one-to-one call to discuss that, and then we can get you on the right membership for you and your business. Like I said, here to support you guys. So get in touch and I will see you next week. Ciao.